different languages or so these are language barriers where there is a breakdown in a language, where there is a lack of communication, or where we are not able to understand each other, maybe because of some pronunciation, maybe because of some punctuation, maybe some modifiers are missing. So that is called language barriers. Next comes common barriers. Some organizational barriers are also there. So these common barriers again can be there. Now these common barriers can be actually when you're not able to understand each other. So that is, it can be organizational structure where you people are not ready to understand each other, where you have done something but feedback is not there. You're so upset that you don't want to communicate. Where sometimes the change of boss is there, change of mindset is there, then problem occurs, dissatisfaction is there, disinterestedness is there, and all these leads to lack of focus, change of attitude, and how these common barriers result in definitely the loss of organization and our loss too. Disinterestedness will definitely bring a loss, whether it is to us, whether it is to organization, whether it is to team. So we should always try to remove these obstacles which are there in the flow of information. These are called organizational communication barriers, and it affects adversely the performance of the people. Yes. Next come C, inability to listen. I'm sure we all know sometimes we don't want to pay attention or do not want to presume to someone. Somebody I don't like. If they're speaking something, I would like to pick up a selective perception. I don't want to listen. Sometimes we are distracted. An active listener, we have to be active listener to understand what is going on. And that is what we can say hearing versus listening. Hearing is when you simply hear, you're not paying attention, you're not focused. And listening is when you are actually trying to retain, you're trying to comprehend what is going to be there. So be a good listener. That is very, very important. And avoid selective perception. Selective perception is, I know when this speaker will come, he is going to be good, so I'm listening to him. And when another speaker is there, either I have to use the washroom, or maybe I'm not, I have to speak to somebody on the phone and I'm going out. That is called selective listening. Next. This is lack of transparency. Sometimes when we lose trust in our seniors, in our friends, maybe in relationship, then we have emotional disconnect. Here the communication is affected. It causes anxiety, and because of that anxiety, we are not able to convey what is there in our mind. And most important over here is grapevine command. No grapevine command. That means a proper hierarchy is not followed. All entangled. We don't know to whom we have to go. There is no definite route of communication. That is called grapevine command. Then we need to have trust. We have to become trustworthy if we want other people to understand what we wish to say. And there is no harm in acknowledging mistake. Believe me, there is no harm in acknowledging mistake if you want to become trustworthy, if you want to inculcate someone trust and bring transparency in the communication. Next. Next one is cultural differences. Sometimes there are cultural differences. Okay, tell me. I want everybody to contribute. What do you understand by cultural difference over here? How we have to avoid culture, these differences in our workplaces. What do you understand by culture differences? Why we don't have to keep things personalized? Why there are few whom we feel we are very close to them and there are others with whom we don't want to discuss anything? Inclusivity. Very good. We have to have inclusive culture. Working system where everyone is welcomed. Use common nomenclature. There are not few. Semantics is sometimes we use the kind of names we are giving to others. We may feel very close to somebody, and others, we don't want to include them in the conversation. Don't do that. This is actually dealing with the social psychology. And here comes the most important thing. Kindly take the picture of this. These are 7 C's of communication. And to have effective communication, we have to be clear about the goal, the purpose, if we have to send a message to somebody. We have to keep it concise, keep it to the point. If you are sending a message and nobody is able to understand what the message is, the communication is lost. So keep the message to the point. Keep your message short and simple. There are few people who always believe that if I learn few words from vocabulary, few words from dictionary, I will be very effective. I will be, people will consider me as the one who has got a very good communication. Sorry, that's wrong. You have to keep the message clear. It should be concrete. Be clear, don't be fuzzy. Provide detail, but don't give too many details that it becomes ambiguous. You have to avoid ambiguity. It has to be coherent. Make sure your message flows well. It starts with an introduction, it gives all the details, and then proper conclusion. It should be laid out logically. Then another C is complete. Please ensure that the recipient has everything that they need to understand. Your message should be complete. And yes, beside being correct, make sure message is grammatically accurate. Beside being correct, it has to be courteous too. Your message should be polite. Your message should be friendly. It should be professional and very, very open. So 7 C's of effective communication are clear, concise, coherent, complete, correct, courteous. I'm sure I have counted all the 7. So these are 7 C's. Here comes. Make sure that your words stand out with 4S. 4S is a strategy that highlights the words that you use with your child as they can notice, they understand, and eventually they use them. So 4S are shortness. It should be short, simple to understand, strength, strong, it conveys your message, and sincerely. Your message should appeal. The genuine appeal should be there. So that's how your message has to be. So these are the only ways to overcome the barriers in communication. So coming on, the ways to, yes. Now, few ways to overcome the barriers to the effective communication are, it is clarify ideas. The ideas should be clear. Whenever need arises, communicate. No need to blabber. The language, the tone, the content, please keep on practicing. There should be a strong conviction in whatever you say. Be clear. Choose the best time. Then only you will say. Definitely you will be convincing. Next. Feedback. It is always required. Whatever you are speaking, take the feedback and try to improve on that. And don't forget to perform SWOT analysis, where you should be aware about your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats as well. Consistency. Avoid giving too much of information. No, don't give so much of information. Your message should be concise. Your message should be short. Your message should be simple. Be a good listener. Practice active listening skills that is required and communicate effectively. If you're able to do that, the purpose is done. Remember, communication is that glue that brings people together. So you, through your communication, you can hold attention of the people. Through your communication, if it is direct communication, you can understand the needs of the people and communicate accordingly. And that's what I said. avoid giving too much information. Control anger. The anxiety spoils the entire communication. You have to use appropriate language and boost morale. If we are doing, check your body language. Your body language should not convey that you are in anger. The body language should not convey that you are discouraging. It should be motivating. And that's what I said. Communication is the glue. It is like a glue, the gum that brings people together. It goes beyond conveying and receiving information. It is not only conveying information only, it goes beyond that. It helps build, it helps nurture the interpersonal relationships. In this world of work where we all are, employers highly valued strong communication skills only will be instrumental in navigating you through all this. So please see that your anger affects thinking, your pride interferes with your listening, and your anxiety, it causes distractions. So dear all, remember, it takes only 3 to 5 seconds to make an impression on someone. Make sure you make a good one with your perfect communication skills. And that's what we need to learn. And my last slide coming up is, it's a good quote, and I'm sure it will summarize the entire thing. So, no matter what job you have in life, your success will be determined 5%. Imagine 5% by your academic credentials, whatever your qualification is. 15% by your professional experience. Okay, if I have 20 years of experience, 15%. And then 80%, it is affected by your communication skills. So still there is time. Let's work on our communication skills and do better and better, get better and better by every day. And I repeat once again, it only takes 3 to 5 seconds to make impression on someone. Make sure you have a good impression with your communication skills. Thank you.
Yes, so that was really an eye-opening session for most of the like people over here today, Aarti ma'am. Just to add one or two points to this, how inclusive was today's session? That was what I was thinking about. This session is not only useful for teachers to what do we say, like make up their communication skills at workplace because they are teachers, they're all employees. At the same time, they can take this into the students as well, as we have many language teachers, not just language teachers. As you said, communication is a skill and which is needed for everyone. It's not just about
Yes.
a language. So I suppose this is one of the best workshops that I have been watching or listening to since last few days. It was really wonderful. My heart felt gratitude to you from the end of SNTTC, and I suppose there would be people to come forward and speak about the session as well. Dear participants, whoever is interested in asking a doubt with regard to today's session, at the same time, whoever wants to, give a feedback, a proper feedback to the resource person can kindly unmute yourself and give your wonderful feedback. Yes, we have 5 more minutes to go. We can take your feedback as well as, doubts if you have any.
We are all educators here. So,
Hi.
let us communicate with teachers as well as students effectively. So, if any question, please come up.
Hello.
Ma'am, one thing I would like to add that as the formal or informal communication is important, the same way the body language, the way
Very
sometimes we do
important.
not say anything, but we communicate with others by showing a body language. So that
True.
is also very important.
Very, very
Thank you.
important. In fact, when we talk about non-verbal communication, body language is included in that. True. Very true, ma'am. That is why, the way we react to others, that decides, that conveys our body language, and, the person understands better from our emotions and expressions. Anybody else?
Right. I just had one query. We are taking up communications in our school and we take it as a subject. We give one period allocate to it. So we are starting right from class 1 to grade 6, 7th. So I had this query that is there anything that you feel that we need to have a structured syllabus so that we can go ahead with it, or a strategy to go for it? Or should we follow like depending on the kind of children? So that was
Ma'am,
what my
depends from age to age. I mean, when it is with younger children, I think we should make them learn when they should know that they are actually learning. Playway methods should be there. So, it can be circle time for them. It can be story time for them. It can be asking them questions through whatever you are sharing with them. You may have to make them speak. You have to, and as it is not only speaking part, there are so many other things in the communication. The stage, we are standing on the stage, that stage fright. Again, it is a part of communication. How our body language is, the tone, the modulation, there's so many things. So it is not only speaking, it can be listening to the people. You start listening to the people, you start watching good videos, and that is again a part of the syllabus. So ma'am, there is always good to chart down the path, but in that particular path you have to add various methods to convey to make it more interesting.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have
Yeah,
a question. Ma'am,
please.
can you explain the difference between modulation and intonation?
Ma'am, intonation is basically, modulation is, when we are speaking something. So high pitch, low pitch, that becomes basically modulation. And when it comes to intonation, again, laying the stress on each and every word. That the way I was giving you one example, I am, and I am from Australia. So, where I am putting the stress on, that becomes more of intonation. So modulation is raising the voice, bringing it down, changing according to the sentence, what I wish to convey. Intonation is again stressing the syllables, then phonetics. Ma'am, there is lot of detail to be discussed in this when it comes to English teachers for stress, intonation, modulation. So many things are there. Yes,
Thank you.
modulation. Good, Shalu. She says the modulation is there during the story time. You have to create an expression, and then this happened. That's how you are trying to convey through your gestures. So gestures, yes. Apart from body language, gesture is also one of the part for this communication.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I suppose we are done with doubts. If still there is anyone who would like to ask a doubt, can come forward. Or else, if you would like to give your feedback to the resource person, even then you are, welcome to come and give. I suppose they are done. So that was all about today's session. And speaking about the certificate, most of you people have commented in the chat box that you want a certificate. So as you know, the session is free. That's the reason everyone could attend the session. For that, there is no charge. But then for a certificate, as you all know, you people have been attending our sessions. You need to pay some amount of rupees 50 to this number 9908925730. So either you can do a GPay or a PhonePe, even a Paytm is accepted, and kindly send the screenshot of the payment. Along with the screenshot, write the complete name as you want on the certificate. Let me repeat it. Kindly send a GPay, PhonePe or Paytm to the number given in the chat box. That is 9908925730. Along with the screenshot of the payment, do send the name as you want on your certificate. And one more thing which we would like to tell you is that we cannot send a certificate immediately because it is not an auto-generated one. An IT person has to sit and prepare. So it will be coming within 2 hours, minimum of 2 hours, or else by tomorrow morning, because for the next 2 or 3 hours, he'll be sitting and he'll be preparing. and he'll be sending the PDF to the WhatsApp. So that was all about today. If at all you people want any specific, topics to be customized for you, or else you are looking forward for any specific topics, you can definitely send a message to the same number that it would be really great, if this session can be taken and all. And we will be looking forward to, come with a session about those topics that you have suggested. And one more thing, if you are looking for making a career as a trainer, okay, then you can join our Train the Trainer course, which is an ongoing course. Okay, even with regard to that, you can send a message to the same number wherein you will be given the details, or you can call on the same number, you will be shared with the details. And tomorrow in the afternoon, we have got a wonderful handwriting session. Okay, and actually the cost of the session is 3,000 rupees, but we are doing that session only for 501 as it is an online session. So it is a 3-hour session. A 3-hour session done at the cost of just 501. If at all you're all interested, you can join for that session. You will be getting a certificate and you will be doing lots of elements with regard to handwriting. Yeah. And you don't have to fill any form. Just do the payment of the 50 rupees for grabbing a certificate for today's session and send it to the same number that I have written in the chat box. Thank you one and all. Let us meet in the next session again. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to express my thanks. I was going through the chat. So encouraging they are. Thank you, everyone. I mean, that's how, we are encouraged and come again with the new sessions. And as sir suggested, please give us the sessions which you would like to have so that we can come up again. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this platform.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So payment amount is 50 rupees. It is on WhatsApp. Definitely it is on WhatsApp. If at all you are unable to see the number on WhatsApp, send a normal message. I will do the WhatsApp message to you. And those who have done the payment, kindly send a screenshot to the number along with your name. Yes, it is 50 rupees. Thank you one and all. Let us meet in the next session. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions, one in the afternoon. It's a paid session. It's not a free session. And in the evening, we have a free session.